Midterm elections are now less than a week away, and one race in our area could decide who controls Congress. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan, in for Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Incumbent Representative Mike Levin, a Democrat, and his Republican opponent Brian Maryott are in a close race for the 49th Congressional District. And as CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes found out, the race is so tight that President Joe Biden is coming to San Diego to campaign for Levin. Kirsten?
I'm live here at MCAS Miramar, where President Joe Biden is expected to land tomorrow before heading to Oceanside. Now, Democrats are pulling out the big guns right now because Mike Levin and Brian Maryott are in a really tight race in the 49th district. That's considered a swing area, so whoever wins this race could determine the balance of power in Congress. But the big question is, will President Biden's appearance help or hurt Mike Levin?
I think it's a big open question to see what Biden's presence is going to mean to local Democrats.
Nikki Usher is an associate professor of communication studies at the University of San Diego.
On one hand, it could fire them up. On the other hand, it could, for all the voters that haven't made a decision, having Biden present could remind them that gas prices are higher than it's ever been, that milk prices are higher than it's ever been, that mortgage rates are higher than it's ever been.
Usher says having a sitting president stump for a candidate is a pretty big deal no matter what your political leanings are. But for Biden and Democrats, the economy is going to be a tough issue to overcome.
If Maryott starts to campaign with inflation as the key last minute that makes people forget he's a Republican, I think that could be really consequential for such a tight race. Unfortunately for Mark Levin, Joe Biden's current approval ratings are now at 40%, which is a little bit better than he was a couple of weeks ago.
The race is a rematch between Maryott and Levin, who faced off in the 2018 primary and again in the 2020 general election, where Levin beat Maryott in a tight race. Usher says there's still time for even more national attention, this time from conservatives.
A big game changer could be if Trump starts talking about the Maryott election. If Maryott comes out as being closer to Trump, moderate California voters are going to see that and freak.
As President Biden's approval ratings hover around 40%, Usher says it's all about strategy.
Where will Biden's energy be possibly most helpful, but at worst a neutral? And I think that California is a place where every Californian who's a Democrat is still going to vote for Biden. And so I think he will do the least damage in a Democratic state.
Meanwhile, young voters say there's an uphill battle for all politicians as they get ready to head to the polls with their key issues and the future top of mind.
Approval ratings are not the best right now. Obviously, our economy is not in the best state.
Especially since we're all seniors in college, we're entering the workforce next year.
All right, so this isn't the first time top Democrats have come to our area for this type of election. Back in 2018, Bernie Sanders came out to stump for Mike Levin, and it worked back then, but now that there's been some redistricting in the 49th district, all eyes are on those voters to see what happens next. Reporting live from Miramar, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.